Hello.
Hi, Sheridan.
Hello.
Good evening.
I think. Let it give it a second to propagate. Sorry, guys, we're running late. Sorry. I know. Par for the course. Okay. Everybody okay?
Doing good.
Appreciate everybody stopping by. Talking about scuba caching tonight, guys. You got a question? Give us a call 808-468-7924. 808 got square. Got what the heck's our number? 808 what? Oh my god, I'm having a stroke.
808 got
Are
swag.
you okay?
Got swag. Thank you. Oh my god. I was saying got square. Wow. Wow. All right, here we go.
It's like causing Jesse to snort here.
Everybody okay? Jess, you ready?
Yeah.
There we go. Right, here we go. In 3. I don't have my lap. I don't have my iPad. It helps when you have your iPad. See, guys, what happened is that I didn't plug in my iPad last night, and it was at 3%. Let me go get my iPad. 1 second. I'll be right back.
It's going to be one of those shows.
Oh,
Yes.
great. Should be fun.
Well, I got.
You never
got my-
know what's going to
got my
happen
path
around here.
tags.
Ooh.
Oh, nice.
A resupply of my path tags.
Sweet.
All right.
Yeah, I ran out at Midwest Geobash.
All right, guys. Sorry about that. Oh, it's at 15%. It might make
Oh.
the show. We might not have
Oh.
closing. Just heads
You
up.
don't have a power cord at your desk?
No, because it plugs directly into the board. That's how it works. It's just,
Oh.
so I'm just testing the sound here. Okay. All right, here we go. That's at 15%. 3, 2. Let him stop laughing. I'm ready. Oh my God, Jesse, I totally hear the fish tank, by the way.
That's not the fish tank. That's the dog chewing a
dog.
bone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. In 3, 2, 1.
You wanna know how to find it. Seek it out when they hide it. You know it's in the bag when it's an easy grab. But come on, take a chance now. So go, geocache, geocache. And if you need help, we're right there in a flash. If you got a question, just call in and ask. Uncover the stash on the Geocaching Podcast. The Geocaching Podcast.
Welcome, everyone. It's Wednesday, it's 8:30, which means that it is once again time for the Geocaching Podcast. My name's Scott Burks. We have Shorty that's manning the phones, and please welcome to my virtual left, my co-host, Chaz427.
Howdy, y'all. Do you geocache with a snorkel, a regulator, or fins? If so, do we have a show for you?
That's right, Chad. Tonight's episode 682, recorded live on September 8th, 2021, is the Scuba Caching Show. Phone lines are open. Give us a call, 808-468-7924. That is 808-GOT-SWAG. And for you international callers, you can call us free via the web at cullenstudio.com/show/GCPC. But Chad,
Mm-hmm.
before we get to that,
Oh, yeah,
we got to talk about Patreon.
definitely.
And I know Merlin's itching to speak about scuba caching, but we got to talk about Patreon. Okay, Chad, it costs a lot of money to make this show work. You know that. I know that. Jesse knows that. I think even Merlin might know that.
I know that.
But to help us offset the calls, and the website and the hosting, costs a lot of money, guys. I know you don't believe me. It does. Trust me. I've had other listeners do the research. It does. And we have 2 ways you can help us out. You can go to PayPal, PayPal.me/the Geocaching Podcast. Make a one-time donation, or Chad,
Mm-hmm.
you can become a patron of our show. Much like Chad, Boomer365 out of British Columbia, knuckling up to the bar, getting a coin, Chad, getting one of the few coins left.
Yay, Canada.
Yay, Canada. I know Merlin didn't get a coin. He didn't get one. He's not
I don't
patron.
have a coin.
And before anybody gives Merlin grief, me and Merlin have had many conversations about this.
I bought a coin.
You did buy a coin. Yes, you
I
did.
did buy a coin.
But you didn't get the
It was-
elusive.
I didn't get the elusive one.
Not the get the elusive one. It's the better one. It's the good one. It's the one that's almost out. The other one's quite awesome. No, the public one is quite awesome. It is.
It's cool. I liked it.
They're both awesome.
Yeah. It is quite good. Extra audio, extra video, only available to our Patreon members. Merlin has no idea what I'm talking about, but trust me, guys, there is a ton of additional information there. Just last week, what video went live on Saturday? Jesse's like, she's like, oh my god, a video went live. I go, oh my god, they're gonna keep going every Saturday.
It was like an FTF video.
Oh, it was my FTF run from 2016. Yes. I had Chad, I told you I found all my old Periscopes from 2016. Those are gonna randomly be showing up. It's gonna be fun ones.
Blast from the past.
From 2016.
There'll be some new videos coming up.
I got new videos coming up.
Tons of new videos.
I got videos still coming from West Bend. I got videos coming from our Utah trip that we just took. The secret's out. Yeah, we went to 5 states in 2 days, Jess.
36 hours.
36 hours, 5 states, Chad.
1,100 miles.
Wow.
It was a lot.
9 hours of sleep.
It was a lot of traveling.
Did you get your webcam deleted?
No. Yes. We've been called Chad for a webcam. I don't know. Early in the morning. Was it like 9 in the morning? No, it's probably like 10 a.m. your time.
I don't know. Something like 10. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was fun. So yes. So we appreciate all of our patrons. We really, really do. And Boomer 365 knuckling up, becoming a patron. We appreciate it very much. Enjoy all the extra stuff. So, guys, you want to become a patron? Oh, well, you get stickers, you get path tags, you get coins. You want to become a patron? You can. You go to patreon.com. That's patreon.com/the-geocaching-podcast.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Tonight's show is brought to you by Cachly. Cachly is an advanced geocaching app for iOS. It features powerful online and offline features, including filtered searches, offline maps, and offline saving of caches. Cachly has hundreds of advanced features that will make your geocaching experience just that much better. Get more info at cachly.com. That's CACHLY.com.
And tonight, we're also sponsored by Logwork. Logwork are the creators of the fantastic logbook, made with genuine write-in-the-rain paper. The logbook designed for the micro-containers of the present and future, geared towards a hider who would rather go cache than do cache maintenance. Find them at logwork.com. That's LOGWERK.com.
It's also brought to you by FTF Geocacher Magazine. FTF Geocacher is the magazine for geocachers written by geocachers. With 6 issues a year, FTF offers practical advice, instant tips, cacher bios and milestones, geocaching events, trail tales, and all things geo-related. Find them at ftfgeocacher.com.
And by the Max Suds Body Company. Max Suds Body Company makes handmade bath and body products. Well, there we go. From all natural oils and butters. Items such as Poison Be Gone soap, itch spray, and 2-cent choices of bug spray are all great for outdoor enthusiasts like geocachers. At Max Suds Body, we have you covered from head to toe. Find them at maxsudsbody.com. That's MACSUDSBODY.com.
And by Practical Geocaching. Practical Geocaching sells utility items for geocaching. Our items are made in the USA, and we always provide free shipping. Find them at practicalgeocaching.com. That's PRACTICAL geocaching.com.
And by Arted Crafted. Arted Crafted creates unique geocaching themed tees and custom designs for you or your geocaching group. With adult sizes ranging from small to 5XL, if you have an idea for a shirt design and you cannot find it, you've come to the right place. Please give us the opportunity to show you how we can enhance your caching experience with your own custom design. Visit them at artedcrafted.com. That's ARTEDCRAFTED.com.
And finally, by pattags.com. For all your swag and pattag needs, visit our website to get creative help, to trade or log tags, or to purchase your own personalized pat tags. With over 42,000 tags to collect, pattags.com is everything you need to start your pat tag obsession. Visit them at pattags.com. That's PATHTAGS.com. And I just got in my new re-up of my pat tags.
Show it. What is it? Let's see.
Oh,
is that your new one?
Nah, it's the old one. It's just
look at you.
It's just a new 150 stack because I ran out at Midwest Geobash.
I got one of those when I met you. Jesse, did you get one?
Yeah, I gave her one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I have one.
And as always, Jay, you can find links to our sponsors on our website or
in our show notes. And before we move on,
yes,
I want to give a shout out to the person that punked me who created the account, Chaz427. They have one find. It's of my cache, and the profile picture is of me on this show back at my old house.
Oh, it's an old school. Oh, nice.
It's an old school one here.
Oh,
I'll share the screen.
Someone created an account called Chaz427,
Window Chrome tab.
and they found
Come
one of
on.
your caches. Okay, is it a Texas cache or is it a California cache?
It's Texas cache.
It's a Texas cache.
So the Chaz 427, and they got a picture of me. That's my old podcasting room at my old house. So they must have snipped it from a video there, and they got one find, which it's come on.
There's no profile information. Nothing. They didn't even go premium. Come on, man.
They didn't go premium on this. Maybe I should gift them a premium cache or premium account.
There you go. See, Chad, nice.
See, it's like not
What
my
was the
first
log?
one by Taz 427.
What was the log?
What was the log?
Oh, let's see here. The log was this is my first one.
That somebody DNF'd it after that.
Yeah, someone DNF'd it after that, but it's brand new. The container's brand new. That's out there. So newbie cachers DNF this one quite frequently.
That's
Oh,
fantastic.
that's
So-
brilliant.
Someone created that. How did we not think of that, Jess, to create a Chaz427 account?
I don't know.
So Chaz was already taken because I checked after this came up. I checked afterwards because I was going to take Chaz, and it's like, so apparently they probably looked and saw that Chaz was taken and then took Chaz 427. So, but yeah, they got me. Oh,
They got you. They punked you well, kid.
They punked
Well
me.
done. Chad got punked
That's
well.
fantastic.
Okay, quick El Rojo race update, the listener race update. Chad, we got a new leaderboard, new leader on the board here. Beaver Bob
Wow.
in the lead, 23,000 miles. Gingerbread
Wow.
geocache tag number 2 at 18. Blaze on Signal at 16. Lily Lou's Racing Frog at 13. Racer Tongue 8 at 13. Holly the Fuggler, standing strong at 7,000. Didn't move much. These boots are made for caching. That one crept up 7,500. I met Signal tag 20 years at 6,800. Idaho Dasher at 5,700, and Buzz to the Rescue 5,200. Chad, where are you on that list, Chad?
I'm somewhere around 3,000 miles, over 3,000 miles. I'm
Dude,
not
you're
sure
almost
exactly
in the
where
top
it is.
10 there. You're creeping
Yeah.
into the top.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
Well done. Merlin, did you play this game?
Nope, sorry.
Thanks.
Not a travel bug racer.
Not a travel bug racer. Okay.
Have you guys seen the updates on our travel bugs?
I have not. No. Do you have an update for us?
Sure, I have an update.
What's up?
Mine is still in Maine.
Yours
where it
has
has
moved
been-
in a long time.
It's been there since the end of July in a cemetery where it has gone to die. Chad's is still in Indiana where it has been since June.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Mhm.
funny story about Scott's. Do you guys remember who picked up Scott's?
No. You can tell me it's like in Guam or Germany. I'm going to be very pissed off.
Okay, so remember a new cashier with like 2 finds picked up Scott's travel bug again, right?
Mhm.
Brand new cashier.
Die.
Ironically, took it to Midwest Geobash where we were,
Yeah.
right? But we never ran into it. We never saw it. But
Nope.
this cashier was there, took it with, and since then has been slowly making their way westward. So they are visiting. This cashier now has 20 finds,
Oh, okay.
and they are visiting the travel bug at each cache that they find, and
Just
so they
mean
have
dri-
worked
Dipping the travel bug.
dipping, yeah, dipping, yes. So he has worked his way across Indiana
Great.
and is now in Wisconsin
That's
with
close.
one stop in Illinois.
And it wasn't our porch?
It was not our porch, Scott. It was a cache 8.2 miles from our porch.
Oh, 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 that hurts.
And it is now in Wisconsin.
It's like I waved at it as it went by.
But he took a picture.
good.
He took a picture of
His
himself
finger in
and
there.
the
Did he give me
travel
the
bug
swear finger while he was
8
doing?
miles from the porch. Would you like to see?
I do. I would love to see it. Yes, thank you.
Hold on. I want this. I want
My
this.
goodness. Come on, man.
Here you
8
go.
miles.
Here he is with your little travel bug there, Scott. He is 8 miles from our house in this picture.
Which cache is that?
Wow.
Which one it is?
It's called 72 Raccoons. It's a Topher LV cache in Libertyville.
In Libertyville. Do you think he knows that that's supposed to go?
Okay, so did he take it out of the bag that it is in that had the directions
I
in
don't
it?
know. I don't know.
Or is
Well,
it now traveling by itself?
Yeah, obviously it's not with the bag in the picture. So for those who cannot see it,
8 miles.
So
Oh.
close, Scott.
That stings a little, man. Not gonna lie. That stings a little. What are you gonna do? Thank you,
Only a
Jess,
game.
for that fantastic update.
Sure. Hey,
All right,
you're
we got-
still closer than both Chad and I, so.
I'm getting further. That's the problem. I've got some emails, guys. We do have some emails.
mail. Yay!
We got NP Glenn.
Mail. Yay!
Chad, on
Mhm.
last week's show, I mentioned. Oh, he says at the end of last week's show, I mentioned in the chat room about a new Geo Trail coming in Ohio in the coming weekend, September 4th. That was my mistake. The Geo Trail was in Georgia. It was GC8G1M4, the Jackson County Agritourism Geo Trail kickoff. The one in Ohio is on September 19th, and that's GC8TA01, the Seneca County Geo Trail kickoff. Sorry if I confused anyone. Chad, did anyone go to that Atlanta, Georgia one? Did you go? Merlin, did you go to that one?
I did not.
No? I know Ryan
No,
did.
I was with family.
Oh, Semmels did. He's in the chat room. I know he went.
So I didn't go, but I'm gonna hit a bunch of the caches in a few weeks. So
Oh,
gonna hit all the challenge caches
yes.
that they put out for it. We're thinking about doing there's a 81 puzzles, a DT fill out grid. So thinking about solving those puzzles and doing that, but I'm not sure.
Ryan was at you.
So
You're going
our time's kind of full right now, so on the agenda, so it might be hard to get that one squeezed in there.
You're going in October, right?
Well, technically going September 28th through October 5th. So the event is October 2nd itself, but it really kicks off on the 29th of September. That's when people get their puzzle packs and stuff, and they start solving the puzzles for all the stuff that you need to do in order to get the caches that are going to be released on Saturday. So yeah, we go for a week and a day, so Tuesday to Tuesday.
So interesting story here, Chad. Indiana Daryl shoots us an email. Do you remember last week we were talking about what happens when you die?
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Hey guys, I'm listening to your podcast from Wednesday, and I wish I would have caught it live. A couple of years ago, I was contacted by HQ about owning a air quote legacy cache, and they wanted to let me know that if there ever comes a time that I'm not about to maintain it, I could set it up for someone to take ownership of it. So I'm guessing that most of the 2,000 year caches have it set to where there is someone who will adopt it or take ownership of it. That's interesting. So there you go. And he says, below is an actual email HQ sent me. You ready for this, Chad?
Mm-hmm.
This is from HQ, kids. From HQ. Greetings from geocaching headquarters. We are contacting all the owners of active geocaches that were hidden in the year 2000 with a proposal to help you protect your special cache from the beginning of geocaching. These early geocaches represent a great legacy for the pioneering geocachers that first hid them and for those who continue to maintain them. We'd like to help ensure that there will always be geocaches from the year 2000 in the game. Because these caches are the property of their owners, there is little that can be done to save them if their owners are unreachable or unable to care for them. Therefore, we are providing you with an opportunity to state your wishes now for the future care of GC 93, Indiana's first. We will record this information and refer to it only if your cache needs attention and you cannot be reached. Suggested requests you can make for your cache. 1. Designate 1 or 2 specific geocaches to adopt the cache. 2. Designate a geocaching organization to choose an owner for it. 3. Give permission for HQ to choose a responsible cache owner to adopt it. In the future, if your cache needs attention, your reviewer will contact you. If there is no response from you within 60 days, HQ will attempt to follow any written future care wishes you have provided to us. We emphasize that this is strictly a backup plan. You will retain control of your cache as long as you own it, including adopting it to anyone you wish without involving HQ. You can make changes to the future care wishes you have provided to us at any time by contacting HQ and letting us know. How about that? That's interesting. A little insight into somebody who owns a 2000 cache.
Yeah, well, that's assuming that they were still actively maintaining their caches and checking their emails when that came out.
Well,
So
that's a pretty recent.
Yeah, there's I would say there's plenty of 2000 year caches that are being maintained by the community that the original owner aren't paying if they're not, they may not be receiving or are not paying attention to any of the emails that come to the email address associated with their geocaching account, their old geocaching account.
Yeah. I'm pretty positive Beverly is being kept alive by the community. I don't think that guy is checking it anymore. Pretty sure that one is. So I thought that was an interesting email discussion last week. And that's all I got for emails, guys. So we're welcoming Merlin 1392 to the show. Merlin, hello, sir.
Hello.
Merlin, scuba caching. You are the scuba guy. You're the scuba guy. On all the shows.
Scuba Steve.
You're the scuba Steve of the geocaching community. Talk to us about scuba. Let's start with you. Tell us about you. Tell us about scuba. First about you, and then about how you got into scuba.
Okay. Well, I started geocaching in 2006 as a hobby game from work, and it was fun while the kids were growing up, off and on. And then when I moved to the west side of Michigan in 2012 is when I really got serious. So I probably found 3 times the caches this year that I did in the first 6 years of geocaching. So it's been great. I'm now obsessed with this hobby game, whatever. And I love it, and I play it all the time. So on a whim in college, my first year of college, a buddy said, hey, we need a PE credit. What do you think about scuba diving? And I said, okay, let's do it. So I love the water and took my first scuba class back in older than I am and became a scuba diver. Then I learned that I could combine the 2 activities of going underwater with air on my back and find a cache. So since then, I do it as often as I can. And at one point in time in my career, I had placed more caches underwater than I had on land. I've subsequently changed that, but yeah, I love to scuba dive. I love to cache. In fact, just got back from 17 days in the Galapagos Islands.
Wow.
Awesome.
So it was incredible. There are no scuba caches in the Galapagos Islands, I'm sad to say. So
yeah,
I had to find them all on land.
For the record, I have never scuba'd, which is surprising because I've grown up in the water. I grew up in the water, very, very comfortable in the water, but just never even tried it. I'm all for it. I would love to do it. I just never have. Chad, what about you? You ever scuba?
I have tried to get certified twice. Both times I got an inner ear infection before my free dive. So I went as far as the verification that I know my symbols. Okay, this is up, not okay. Out of air. That type of thing, and did I think 20 minutes straight of swimming or something like that. I forget exactly what it was. It's been a while since I did those, but you got to make sure, you got to prove that you can tread water for so long, and then you got tests and all that kind of stuff. So I went through all that, and it was ready for the free dive on 2 different occasions. Both times I had gotten an inner ear infection from the ocean, one from the Atlantic, one from the Gulf of Mexico, and I never got certified after that. It's like, I give up.
Gods don't
Somebody's
want you
telling
to
you
scuba,
something.
Chad.
Exactly.
Gods say no to Chad. Interesting. Jesse, scuba?
Fun fact, I could probably doggy paddle if absolutely necessary. That is the extent of my swimming. I don't like to even put my head under the water.
Yeah,
So that's a hard no for me.
He doesn't know how to swim. So yeah,
Yeah,
shocking.
that can be. That's one of the first requirements to become a certified scuba
Yeah,
diver.
swimming is.
Yeah, you got to swim. You have to float.
I would imagine you should probably feel comfortable in the water.
Yeah. That kind of helps. Yes. So right off the bat, Merlin, I'm gonna throw you a question here. Jesse actually came to me earlier in the week and said, "Hey, guess what? On Facebook, somebody put a question about scuba diving cache in one of the forums that she's in. So I'm gonna bring it to you, Merlin. I'm paraphrasing it. This isn't word for word, but I think this is correct. I couldn't find it, Jess. Somebody was putting out a scuba cache, okay, and they wanted to rate it a T5. And so they asked, should it still be a T5 if you can get it without having to don scuba gear? It's only about 10 or so feet down. Is it still a T5? Merlin, I'm going to give the answer. If maybe they're listening here, I've got a professional scuba guy here. Is it still a T5, Merlin, if you don't have to scuba to it?
Wow, if you don't have to scuba to it, then I would say no.
No.
Because it doesn't
Right.
require the scuba gear, which is what a T5 requires, extra gear. Absolutely a 4.5, but the T5 requires you to have a boat. It requires you to have scuba gear. It requires you to have something extra.
Right.
So that's the requirement. So if you need a boat, that makes it a T5, even if it's only 10 feet down.
But what if it's off the shore? If you could swim to it and then
you can swim to it off the shore, then I would say no.
Because you don't have to scuba.
Right.
So
but how many caches are out there that I remember my first 5.5 cache where I walked down a trail. It was a well-maintained trail. I walked to the crotch of a tree that it was about 3.5 feet off the ground, and I saw the cache from 20 feet away. It was a 5.5 cache. There was nothing about that was a 5.5. So we all know that there are bogus ratings out there.
Right.
So,
I've got some legitimate 5.5s and some very non-legitimate 5.5s.
Oh, I have too.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So I think we all have. So it's in what the rater wants to rate it. But as I look at the guidelines and I apply the guidelines to what you've said, I would say no, it's a 4.5.
Fair enough. Okay. Here's a question for you from the chat room. Have you ever run into any muggles while scuba caching?
Oh, yeah. All the time. In fact, one of the first caches that I found in the Cayman Islands, I was with a group and we were going to visit this wreck where I knew where there was a scuba cache. And it was one of the first or second ones that I had found. And I told the group, when we get to this wreck, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm looking for. And GPS does not work underwater. So generally, yeah, you'll get some information that says start at the bow, go down this side, look here, look there. You'll get some information on where to go. So with my flashlight, I'm looking in each of the portholes of the side of this ship, not knowing where to look. And a muggle came up from the other side and he gives me this sign like this. And so I knew instantly he had found the cache. And so I went over to the other side and sure enough, it was a 18-inch by 18-inch Pelican box. which is a dry watertight box. And it was great. It was one of the first underwater caches. So yeah, muggles all the time are involved in caching, much more easy than on land.
So I am totally new to this, never found one, probably never will find one. You open it up underwater, correct? You don't bring it up to the surface and then open it up. It's not airtight. It's am I
It
wrong?
depends on what the cacher wants.
Right.
It's the placer of the cache. Some that are placed like that 10-foot one, I've seen some where you go down, you get it, you bring it up, you take it back down. It's designed to be underwater, but not opened underwater.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that I have placed are water caches. You leave them down there. They're tied to a cinder block so they don't move around. I've got a little plastic slate and a grease pen. Yep. Yeah. So you can sign the log underwater, open it up completely. This Pelican box, even though it's meant to be dry, you open it up underwater because that one was like 45 feet underwater. So there is an issue with diving when you go from deep to shallow to deep to shallow. You don't want to go up and down like that a lot. So, and to answer a question from Ipsy Mom, no, I have not had done a scuba event. That's a good idea, though. I should do one of those up here.
Jesse, could I ever try and convince you to scuba, Jess? I'd have to teach you to swim first.
You'd have to teach me how to swim first.
Could I teach you to swim?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
Do you have any interest in learning how to swim?
I wish I knew how. I even grew up with a pool in the backyard. I just never
swim. I grew up
never learned how to properly swim.
Wow.
Because you know why? Because I was afraid to put my head under the water when I was a kid.
What are you afraid of? Just like Jaws?
I don't know. I just don't like that feeling of water on my face. I don't know.
Because I would love to scuba cashing with you.
Yeah, I mean, awesome. You're gonna put me in swim lessons with the
I'll put you
kids?
with the 4-year-olds. We'll put you with the big blue swim school down the street. Put adults in that class.
I think my son learned to swim when he was 2 or 3. So we took him and got him had lessons to learn how to swim.
Yeah, so did I.
But
Jesse, all our kids learned how to swim that way.
Yeah, they're all really good swimmers.
Yeah, absolutely. I told
if it's any consolation, Scott, my wife doesn't dive.
Really?
In fact, she almost drowned me on our honeymoon when we were snorkeling. Another story that I won't bring up here. That one I can't bring up anymore. But yeah, so she doesn't dive. So my daughter and I went to the Galapagos for those 17 days. So I will often go off on my own and, meet people there and go. Mm-hmm. Sometimes my wife will go and just hang out at the resort wherever we're going to be. But usually not. She knows that I'm diving or I'm geocaching, and she has no real interest in either of those. So she goes with her girlfriend's places, and I go my places.
There you go. Thank you.
So some people might not have realized why the inner ear infection prevents you from doing the free dive, which Merlin definitely knows. But basically, you got stuff in your inner ear. It won't allow the pressure to release, and when you're going down or going back up, you're getting changes in pressure, and your ears pop like kind of like on a plane and stuff. They need to be able to pop, otherwise you can rupture an eardrum.
Yeah, absolutely.
We weren't judging you, Chad.
So let's talk about judging myself. Thank you.
So the way we're going to work this today with Merlin, a couple years ago, Geocaching had a scuba diving thing on their blog, and there was like 7 tips to finding your first scuba cache. And so I'm going to go through it with Merlin, and this will be our roadmap to this show, and he could go off topic any way he wants or sees fit. But we're just going to start with this and see where it takes us. Merlin, okay with that?
I'm fine with that.
Okay. First of all, get certified. I think that's a no-brainer, but we're going to put it anywhere. Before attempting, make sure you have the proper scuba certification. Merlin, what does it take to get scuba certified?
Okay. Well, there are many certifying agencies. The one that I work with is the Professional Association of Divers Incorporated, also known as PADI. And yeah, they're one of the most recognized training organizations in the world. Mm-hmm. And they have 3 elements to becoming certified. As Chad mentioned, one of them is knowledge. You go through classroom materials, you learn what are some of the physics, how does air work when you go under pressure, what are the air spaces in your body going to do when you get under pressure. As Chad said, you have to equalize that pressure in your inner ears because the water pressure is packing on your ears and condensing you as you descend. So how does that work? How does a lot of other things work? The second element is confined water skills. Most places do this in a pool. Some places can do this in a small, shallow lake. Usually it's no more than 15 to 20 feet deep, where you learn how to breathe out of your regulator, how to clear your mask, how to take care of yourself in an emergency. And really, all of this stuff is designed not so much to teach you how, but to keep you from killing yourself. It's one of the things that I tell my students all the time. I can't tell you how to breathe. I can't tell you how to swim, but I am going to teach you how to keep from killing yourself and have fun in the water. So the third element then is actually to go in the lake, in the open water, and demonstrate to your instructor that you know how to do these skills. Then you become a certified scuba diver.
And what does that cost?
More than $1, less than $1 million. It varies. It varies by where you are. It varies. I'm teaching a class at the Grand Valley State University here in Michigan, and it's a single credit course, which I want to say is $300-$400 now per credit. I don't buy them, so I don't know. And we have a $250 course fee on top of that. Plus, you need some basic gear. Basic gear will run you about $200. So it's $500 to $750 ish to get started into it.
Okay. And then how long does it take?
Again, that's a varied. For us, we go 5 weeks in classroom and pool, and then we do 2 weekends out in the lake. I know some people that do that in like 10 hours. They'll do a Friday night class, a Saturday morning class, and then they'll go to the pool for Saturday afternoon. Sunday they'll do one class, and then the next Sunday they'll do another open water dive. So that's it. Yeah, it's really very easy.
Yeah. So when I was doing it, I basically did all the coursework offline on my own and all that stuff. And so that when I got to the instructor's place, I would basically take an exam. I think they went over some stuff with me for about an hour, just some basic stuff. But I had already researched all that, took an exam, passed that, and then it was supposed to be another several hours. I forget exactly how many hours. Like in the pool kind of thing, making sure that you can use a regulator, making sure that you can clear your mask, doing the swimming for timed amount of time and stuff, and then it was supposed to be the open dive for the final certification. But so potentially you can do a lot of the coursework on your own if the instructor approves it. So there are kits and stuff out there that you can buy on that. But then, like you said, definitely I had to buy. I spent a fair amount of money on equipment that now gets mainly used in my pool.
Yeah.
All right. 2, read cache details carefully, as every scuba cache is different. Some will require park entrance fees, while others may ask you to notify the local park ranger.
Absolutely true. I mentioned before the show, there is actually a dive park in Kankakee, Illinois. It is called Hague Quarry, and it is a diving place. It's specifically set up for diving, and I have 3 caches that are placed there. They're all based on a topic called Finding Nemo. I figured what better way to put an underwater cache than use that movie. And so you need to know that in order to dive this park, it's now $25 per day to dive the park. And then that's your entrance fee. And then the 3 caches, one of them is placed at 20 feet, give or take. One's at about 45 feet deep, and the other's at 80 feet deep. And I guess I'll go back a little bit to say, when you have a basic certification, you're certified to a depth of 60 feet. And based on your training, that's how deep you should go. There's no such thing as a scuba police that will keep you from going deeper. But as you go deeper and deeper, there's more effects on your body. And you want to understand what those impacts are as you go deeper. So the 80-foot one does recommend that you have an instructor with you, or that you're certified as a deep diver. So yeah, absolutely. You want to look at the cache page. There was one a number of years ago I found in Florida that was a technical diving. The maximum depth on a recreational scuba diver is 130 feet. This cache was like 250 feet. Wow. And it requires a special mix of air, special equipment, special training, and it said that right up at the top of the cache page. And it also said, please don't bring travel bugs because this cache is not found very often. And it's subsequently been archived, so I guess it hasn't been found enough.
Interesting.
So absolutely, read the cache page.
So are you certified for enriched air?
I am certified for enriched air, but not mixed gas. I'm not a technical diver.
Okay.
And so, if you go to this park in Kankakee, can you like rent a tank?
Sure. Wow. If you have to be a certified diver in order to rent the gear.
Well, yeah, of course.
But if you don't own your own gear, you can rent everything from them.
Oh, okay.
And yep.
Just curious.
Yep.
Number 3, research the diving area and its ecosystems. You don't want to be unpleasantly surprised by the local sea creatures or water temperature.
True. All the above. So when I went to Honduras, the average water temp was rated at about 80 degrees, which is like a normal swimming pool. When we got there, the temperature was actually 85 degrees. At one point during our trip, there was a tropical storm just offshore. And that changed things significantly, so that about the first 15 feet, the water temp went to about 65 degrees. And we couldn't see anything as we were descending in that first 15 feet. After we hit the 15 and a half feet, the water temp went back up to about 80 degrees and was very comfortable and very great to dive in. So yeah, some of that will change.
That's interesting.
It's called a thermocline, and it is very fascinating. Here in Michigan, where we do our basic dives, at about 25 feet, there's just this line in the water. And when you're above it, the water's nice and warm and comfortable. You go below it, and it's a spring-fed lake, and the temperature drops about 15 degrees instantly. So, yep. So yeah, knowing what you can do, knowing what the currents are. In the Galapagos, we dealt with several different currents that all merge in the islands. And I was holding onto a rock watching sharks go by. And I would be blowing in the wind to the left, and then it would stop, and I would blow to the right for a little while. So you need to understand what the currents are doing and just understand the environment.
Let's see about this one, Merlin. Bring a compass. GPS devices will not work underwater, but a compass will help you navigate while you submerge in water. You can also triangulate the position of a geocache based on provided landmarks. Certain cache listings will specify. And you actually wrote something on this, right?
Well, I wrote in there that any good scuba diver always carries a compass, because that is your principal navigation method. Landmarks, unless you've dove the site before, landmarks don't do a whole lot for you. So, and as I mentioned, there's a cache here in Lake Michigan that it tells you to dive to the bow and go at, I want to say 240 degrees for 50 feet, and you'll find the geocache. So you have to have a compass with you.
So are most of them kind of like a letterbox hybrid in that aspect of that, you get to some known landmark and then you got to go off to get to it based upon some directions, or is it a whole mix of things?
I'll say generally yes, but I mean there's all cache types. So I haven't seen many letterbox, even though they all could be considered letterbox. Most of them are traditionals, and they'll put the posted coordinates where you should anchor. Or the ones that I've placed, I actually carry my GPS on an inner tube on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
And so I tie it off to where I'm going to tie the cache. So I get the coordinates at the surface and then go straight down to where they are. But then I tell people, okay, you can go from here, this direction. The shallow one at Kankakee, I just say, here's the coordinates, find them, dive down, get the cache. So yeah, they're easy.
Body system is a must. In the off chance that something were to happen in underwater current, you want to make sure someone knows where you are.
Well, there's a couple different things being said there. You always want someone to know where you are when you go off, whether you're land caching or scuba caching. It's a real good idea to leave, a note with someone saying, I'm going here. I expect to return at this time of day. Caching with a buddy is always more fun than caching by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Scuba diving is always more fun doing it with someone else than by yourself. But I do hold a solo diver certification, which means I've been taught things that I need to know when I'm diving by myself. And I can be diving by myself with 14 students in my college class because they're learning how to scuba dive. If I have a problem and they're with me, they don't know how to help me. They don't know how to do anything for me. So even though I have a buddy, that doesn't help me. I'm diving on my own.
Sure.
So I have dove on my own. I would not go to 80 or 100 feet for a cache by myself, but definitely if it's a 10 or 20 foot cache, I'd go for myself. No problem. So it's a comfort thing. Are you going to climb a mountain with mountain climbing gear all by yourself for that 5.5 cache? Probably not a wise idea.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Same thing applies to dive.
Right.
Okay. We got a question from in the chat room. Jim Stark says, about how far down can you dive without needing a flashlight?
Where are you diving? In Michigan, probably need a dive light at about 80 feet. It helps. I've been to 128 feet in Florida. Didn't need a light. Colors change significantly as you go deeper because the sunlight just stratifies in the water. So you lose reds, you lose yellows. But I've, night caching or night diving, that's when you really need lights. I've used lights even during the day to look into holes in the rocks to look for lobsters and things like that. So no, deep diving and needing flashlights, it's all relative to where are you and what are you doing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Number 6, bring a pencil or waterproof writing utensil to sign a logbook. Standard pens won't work when wet.
True. Pens don't work. Pencil, grease pencil, those are good to have when you're diving. I have a wrist slate that I wear so I can write notes to buddies and students. That has my pencil with it. Some cachers, like I mentioned, the caches that I placed, I've got a grease pencil in the container with a log sheet.
Mm-hmm. And how often does that get filled up?
It's found maybe once a year, maybe twice a year.
Wow.
There are not many dive cachers.
Once a year, maybe.
Yeah.
Carry an underwater camera so you can snap a shot of yourself finding the cache.
Yes. They are cool because diving is so special. All the dive caches that I found, I have pictures, and they're great memories.
Yeah. What underwater camera do you use? That's out of curiosity.
I wasn't ready for that question. It's a little Instamatic, and it's made by one of the major manufacturers of cameras, and I got it for my daughter, and don't remember.
Okay.
Sorry.
Fair enough.
Sea
Peg-
life. That's it. Sea life.
Sea life.
Sea life.
There's no ticks or snakes from the chat room, but what hazards have you encountered underwater?
There are snakes underwater. So just to clear that up.
Oh, Megan, I'm done. No,
yeah, there's water snakes. I really haven't found any hazards underwater. A buddy and I developed a course in a specialty called I dove with sharks in the Galapagos. Those were easy. They're fun.
Punch them in the nose.
I had
They'll go
hundreds
away.
of them.
fun. Jesse, they're fun.
Fun. Sharks are fun.
No thanks.
I trust you. Fun. Fun.
I literally watched a Galapagos shark come at me, and it got to within about 3 foot. I could have reached out and touched it, and it veered off at the last minute. It was just checking me out.
You weren't scared at all.
I was not scared at all. I knew it wasn't going to eat me.
How did you know it wasn't?
Because there were lots of fishes swimming around me, and they would have been scared a lot faster than I was. Because the shark was probably about as big as I am. Humans are not on the menu for sharks. Let's just put that right out there.
Tell that to Jaws. He'll disagree with you.
Yeah. You see Jaws? Yeah. No. If you look at all of the shark attacks, it's just the shark being curious and nibbles. Now, when a 10-foot shark nibbles your leg, you lose a lot.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I like that. Yes. So I dove with more sharks in the Galapagos than I've seen in my entire life. Some were really close. I got smacked on the head by a turtle. You're not supposed to touch the wildlife, but they can touch you. So I have a great picture of that one. So I think the hazard that most divers face is being too deep, too long, looking for a cache. Because again, part of the physics of diving is you're building nitrogen in your system, and you can't stay down at depth longer than X. And X is dependent on how deep you are and how long you stay. So that's the primary hazard, is doing something stupid.
Do you run a dive computer or do it manually or both?
I have a computer. I have a computer that I wear. Computers are so much better now for maintaining that, because you can go to X number of feet, let's say 130 feet. You can stay down there for 6-7 minutes. But if I come to 120 feet, I now get X number of minutes more. If I come to 100 feet, I get X number of minutes more. And I can't really calculate that manually that fast, but my computer can. And so I can maximize the length of time underwater by having a computer.
But you pretty much always know where you're at on your time in case your computer happens to conk out. Is that the way you
Absolutely.
go?
Yep. Yeah, if your computer conks out, that's it. That's the end of the dive. Party's over. So I luckily haven't had that happen to me, and I've had my computer for 10, 12 years now.
Wow.
So it's been, knock on wood, very reliable. So
all right. These last minutes we have, why don't you tell us a couple of the caches you found? Give us some amazing caches you found. Let's hear some.
Okay. Some of the most amazing ones. Let's see. I think the most fun one was in Cayman Brac, and it was called the Dive Pirates Booty. The GC code is 2 Zulu 0 Charlie Foxtrot. That was one of my first ones, and that was that big pelican box that I found.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. One of the other ones.
What was the GC code? Sorry.
What's that?
What was the GC code on that one? Sorry.
2 Zulu 0 Charlie Foxtrot.
I lost the 0. Just seeing if one of my friends has done it. he does scuba caches. So no, he hasn't done that one.
I haven't done that one. The other one that was fun in Roatan was GC6, Mary Papa Zulu Victor. That one's called Nabs Yes. That one's a virtual cache.
A virtual scuba cache?
A virtual scuba cache.
Explain that one to me, please. What do you got to go down and like how many windows are in the chip kind of a thing?
No, it's actually a small round buoy that's underwater, and it's there, and it's called Nabs Yes, NABS-YES, and it was put there by a class, and to be able to be found for diving. And so you write your name on the globe, and you take a picture of the globe with you, and that's how you submit it.
Interesting. Where was that?
That was in Honduras, Roatan, the island of Roatan. So, and I guess in the last couple of minutes, I need to answer Chad's question.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Because do you remember Chad from like 5 weeks ago?
Not really.
Scott was introducing the topic, and you were talking about Belize as being the scuba capital of the world, and wondering if there were any dive caches in Belize.
Yes.
So there is actually a first to find still available in Belize.
Wow.
It was placed March of 2019. It is GC8 Gulf 17 Delta. It's called No One Paid for This Wall. It's about 45 feet deep, and no one has found it yet.
Wow. In 2 years? Well, I guess COVID, but
Yeah, COVID probably had a lot to do with that.
you're not making plans there, Marlon, to go get it?
Not to Belize, because I mean, everywhere is gorgeous. Everywhere is different. I'm hoping one of my dive sites soon is a place called Aruba, because Aruba really is more the scuba capital of the world, because you go around the island and they have yellow painted rocks, and everywhere you find a painted rock, that's a dive site. They don't have a lot of dive caches there, but it's a great place for diving. So Florida has probably the most scuba caches, legitimate scuba caches around.
Really?
Yeah. So I found 2 in Honduras, 1 in Cozumel, 4 in the Cayman Islands.
And none in Florida? You never been to Florida?
I have been to Florida. I have not found a cache in Florida. When I was diving in Florida, was pre-caching. So I need to make another trip back to Florida and do some of the dive caches there.
And what's the difference between, obviously aside from what you're seeing, but the difference between a lake and an ocean? Is there a huge
salt versus fresh?
I know. Is there a huge difference?
No, there really isn't a big difference. I mean, it's
like, is there no really big difference between the two?
No, not really.
The
water pressure is the same.
More weight. Do you need more weight in the ocean because of the salt?
Yes.
Heavier weight belt. Yeah.
Yeah, because the density of the water, which doesn't really affect how you dive, doesn't affect the pressures that you're going to face, things like that. Yes, you have to wear more weight, but weight is only a thing when you're on the surface.
Right.
Underwater, weight really doesn't play a factor at all. So.
Okay.
But Earl asked a question: what's an illegitimate scuba cache? Would that be the ET Highway? Where they've
well, it does have scuba, does it? Yeah.
Illegitimate use of the scuba icon.
Yes. Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Wait, what does it stand for? It stands for something. I can't remember.
Self-contained underwater breathing.
I know what scuba stands for. When someone uses a scuba icon, it means something other than scuba dive, like scuba cache. It means
scuba gear is required.
No, it means something.
I thought they put it on ones that were a series so that you could like filter by attribute, and
maybe that was. Maybe
you would know which ones were part of the power trails.
Yeah,
they were using it for something other than scuba to indicate it was a specific type of cache before, and I can't remember what it was.
Jesse might be right. It might be a power.
I thought it had to do with power trails.
You tell
maybe it did.
Well, and I think that might have been kind of the urban legend. I'm pretty sure the ET Highway started that way because there wasn't really a way to search on the title of the cache. So you had to search on an attribute, and it needed to be a unique attribute. So since the scuba caching is not used a lot, people chose it.
Right.
But now it's really hard. If you do an attribute search on SCUBA, you get a lot of false positives in that. You know, back to that first cache you asked about, that 10-foot cache might have the SCUBA icon on it, but it's not really a SCUBA cache.
Right.
Right.
According to my stats, I've done six scuba caches, and I can guarantee you, not I never use scuba gear to access any caches. I did access 2 caches underwater, or actually more than 2, but 2 where I had to submerge myself. But I wouldn't count those as scuba caches either. I don't even know if they were listed that way.
Yeah. See, my beef is with Project GC because they measure the GC code at sea level. Well, if I go, one of the caches I found was 120 feet below sea level. It didn't count because that's not part of the Project GC attributes that they measure. So that has a zero depth. So the Project GC doesn't measure depth of scuba caches very well. So
Let's see. I'm trying to find where
I
is
have found 4.
where is the attribute, Jess? I'm on
I went to Project GC just on the main page of your own profile stats. Down at the bottom shows all the attributes.
No, which row is it in? Why can't I find scuba?
It's the third row, like sort of in the middle, next to the binoculars.
I found 12 for the rest.
Wow.
12.
Oh, nice job.
Thanks.
And how much scuba gear do you wear?
None.
Okay.
Never have.
So there's that false 5.5.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I get it.
Yeah. 12.
So
So
there
obviously it's
was.
used for something. If I found 12. Yeah. Not even knowingly. So all right. There you go. Jess or Chad, anything else for Merlin?
No.
Merlin, any final words you want us to know about scuba caching?
No. Thanks. If anybody wants to know more about getting certified, they can reach out through geocaching.com, Merlin1392. You can also work on the distinctive specialty. If you happen to be a certified diver, we teach all about dive caching, the things you need to know, the things you need to worry about, so you can get a certification, a special certification in geocaching diver.
Yeah, I'll do it. First, I got to teach Jesse how to swim. So baby steps here. Baby steps.
Good luck.
So, yeah,
Yes.
After I retire, I think I'm gonna try again, and then I'm gonna bring a gallon of alcohol and just drip in my ears after every time I get out of the water.
I would probably. I'm a big inner ear guy too. Every time I get sick, it goes right to my ears. It always has. So I bet I would probably have the same issues, Chad. I bet you.
Salt water. For some reason, salt water. I have about a 50-50 chance of getting an inner ear infection from. I mean, I've gotten it from the Pacific, the Atlantic, the Gulf, or the Mediterranean. You know, I've gotten it all over the world, and it's like it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jess, if we do the ET Highway, we're gonna get a bunch of scuba caches.
Awesome. Then we can say we were scuba cachers.
Right.
Not really.
FF Skippy really has freaking 3,700. 3,700.
Wow.
Clearly, he's done the ET Highway.
You had to. I was going to say, I don't even have that many.
Oh, that's a lot. Wow. I have 12. All right, Merlin, always a pleasure, buddy.
Thank you. It is a pleasure. Oh, and one more thing for Chad.
Yes.
At Midwest Geobash, you know, Scott has put this out that you have to come up and yell Chaz. Well, I don't think that's really fair. So at Midwest Geobash, I saw Scott Burks and I yelled out, "Scott Burks!"
He did.
He probably leaped 4 feet off the ground. It just scared the bejesus out of
He
him. So,
came up right behind me and screamed at me. That was ridiculous.
so wanted you to know that paybacks, paybacks are.
Thank
I
you.
got them.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So the gauntlet is there. If you see Chad at an event, you yell it out. But if you see Scott at an event, it's
Sneak
fair
up
game
behind
as well.
Sneak up behind him.
Sneak up behind him and scare him.
Exactly.
I did buy a coin from him after I scared him. So.
He did. Yes, he did. He handed
So.
me. He's like, "Give me $20."
So.
I'm like, "Thanks." He's like, "No, I want a coin." I'm like, "Oh."
All right. Thanks for having me on the show, guys. I appreciate it. It's been fun.
Marlon, thank you so much, buddy. Chad.
Yes, sir.
Next week, sir. Next week, we're having another guest. It's September is rounding out to be the guest month, although not for the whole month. We're having our buddy Nick Hubbard on, Chad. He's now your buddy too.
Oh yeah.
He is now your buddy. Here's the thing: we're not talking about Cashley. No. We're talking about Waymarkly. That's what we're gonna do. We're talking about Waymarkly with Nick Hubbard next week. That's next week's show. But you know what? I'm going to bet donuts to dollars that he's going to stay once the show goes off the air, and we're going to talk about Cashley for the patrons. I'm betting we're going to do that probably. That's my guess. So Waymarkly discussion next week, guys. Nick Hubbard on the show. Our good friend Nick coming on the show next week. That's next week. Merlin, always a pleasure, sure. Thank you so much. Chad and Jesse, thank you so much. Guys, people in the chat room, appreciate it. Thank you so much. You guys were awesome. And we will talk to you guys next week. So with 8% left on my iPad right here, 8%. We're gonna hopefully we'll get the closing of the show. Here we go. Hold on a second. Let's just. Please join us again every Wednesday night at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central as we stream live on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and on our website, geocachingpodcast.com. The archived video versions of our podcasts are available on your website or on our YouTube channel, and the audio versions are available on your favorite podcatcher. If you like the show, please head over to Apple Podcasts and rate, review, and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it, and it really helps the show when you do. If you prefer to watch the show, make sure you click the subscribe or get notified button to know exactly when we go live. And if you haven't already, please consider becoming a patron of our show. With tiers starting as low as $3, you get a ton of additional information, extra video, extra audio, only available to our patron members. Please head over to patreon.com today and subscribe. That's patreon.com/thegeocachingpodcast. Thanks once again to our sponsors, Cashley, Logwork, FTF Geocacher Magazine, the Max Nuts Body Company, Practical Geocaching, Arty Crafting, and PathTags.com. Sorry. Please visit our sponsors, and when you make a purchase, you tell them the GCPC sent you. That's all we got this week, so we'll see you next week talking geocaching, taking your phone calls. In the meantime, be good, be safe, hug your loved ones. We will talk to you guys next week. Is that the dog or the fish?
That's the dog chewing on the bone.
Gosh.
I gotta say, you guys don't have fish, do you?
Yeah.
Fish.
You have fish?
Yeah, when the water level gets low, it gets pretty loud.
That's
It burbles.
a gurgle.
That's not a burble. That's a.
Which dog is it? It's a
Roxy.
Juice.
That's Roxy.
What is she, like, inhaling it? I can hear it across the internet.
Yeah, pretty much. Meanwhile, the other one's like out cold on the ground here.
Oh, Jesus.
Here, hold on. Oh, look at her. Look at the baby dog. Look at the dog. She's out cold.
She's
she
so
alive?
tired. Yes. She's squinting at me. She like, keeps opening her eyes.
Adorable.
I think you're talking about her.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Guys, you're awesome. We will talk to you guys next week.
All right. Appreciate it. See y'all.
Thanks, guys.